we've actually got a graphic here of how all the states are shaping up. Donald Trump is leading Kamala Harris with 248 electoral college votes to her 214. Trump, of course, needs 270 to win. And control of the chamber, as we heard from Waleed before, has also flipped. Republicans now taking control of the Senate with a majority.
Yeah, so that means basically they've got the presidency, the Senate, and the House of Reps. And that means a lot in terms of legislation. A lot of these big issues that have been discussed during the campaign. Let's go straight back to Waleed and
Yeah,
Steve.
well, actually, he's with Steve Clemons in Washington DC. G'day, Steve and Waleed again. Hey, Steve.
Hey.
Were you expecting this? Is this going to be a big win for Donald Trump in the end? What's your prediction?
This is a huge win. This is the conqueror coming back. I mean, you know, a lot of Americans really like the Trump show. We've been talking about the Trump show for a long time on your show, and Americans don't want it to stop yet. So it's a very, very big win for him because you couldn't imagine two more different visions for America than Kamala Harris versus Donald Trump. And now I think we're going to start a new era that's going to be very, very different for this nation, how it fits with the rest of the world, what the social contract is for people. It's going to be different.
I'll tell you what, Steve, some of those issues I really do want to get to throughout the broadcast, but let's get to the nuts and bolts of how this might work, or how this victory might have worked. We've heard so much about the different demographics, who he was breaking off the traditional Democrat vote, who he was losing. It's very early, but have you got any sense or any signs of how exactly he's cobbled together this coalition?
I don't know how to put it other than guys really like him. Yeah. Guys of color, white working class guys, but males overwhelmingly supported him. And women worried about their rights, worried about abortion. They supported Kamala Harris, but definitely working class males. And it didn't matter if they were black or Hispanic, white, turned out enormously for Donald Trump. And I think they believed in his message about tariffs and about jobs and stopping immigrants at the border. And that package kind of worked for them.
Yeah, so the jobs thing works in the north, the immigrant argument works in the south.
Well, look, you were just talking about Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, Michigan.
Yeah.
These are all part of the industrial belt of America.
Well, we actually, in part of our coverage, we went to Macomb County. I've been paying special attention to the results in Macomb County as a result. This is auto worker country. They have moved towards Trump. So the economy is obviously a really big part of this vote. There was a lot of discussion about the economy being the decisive thing. Do you think ultimately it boils down to that?
I think partly that, but look, you know, Kamala Harris has just had a very short period of time to run. I'm not sure Americans got to know her as well as they might have if Joe Biden had gotten out of the race earlier. I think that her message of all-inclusive may have sounded a bit bland, and people like that dynamism of a kind of an America that's going to shake itself up and be something different. So Donald Trump, more than anyone I've seen in recent years, gets the vibe of disruption. And Americans want disruption. And they kind of don't believe or trust government. And if you're going to take a wrecking ball to government, Donald Trump's the right guy.
One of the really interesting things about this whole campaign was the question of who was the change candidate, who was the incumbent. Neither was the president.
Right.
And Kamala Harris said it's time to turn the page. We want change. And she's the sitting vice president. In the end, was this a vote against the Biden administration as much as anything? Was Trump not the incumbent?
There's a big number out there. It's 28%. 28% of Americans believe America is on the right track. All Americans.
Yeah.
That's a very low number if you're going to succeed your White House with the same party. It's never happened in American history. That should have given us a signal that Donald Trump may have been coming back a little bit easier than we thought it would take.
And you mentioned the male vote for Donald Trump. The counterbalance to that was always meant to be the female vote for Kamala Harris. What happened? Did it just not
Look, I think women were out there. Look, I think turnout is huge in the country. So, you know, give credit to both sides. They got a lot of turnout. Also, Donald Trump turned the light on and said, hey, get in and early vote. He'd always been against it before. But yeah, women are clearly, we know from polling, we see from exit polls, women are upset about abortion, but some of them still voted for Trump. I mean, down in Florida, they lost a major piece of legislation in Florida. They needed 60% to pass a repeal of a ban on a 6-week abortion bill. It didn't pass. It lost by 2%. But they still got 58%. But Donald Trump just won that state by 13%. astounding in Florida.
Yeah.
So there's a kind of some contradictions out there we still need to understand.
Well, one of the nuances, of course, of the abortion debate is that what the overturning of Roe v. Wade did was make it a state issue. Do you think it's possible that there were a whole lot of Republican women who were happy to vote for abortion rights at the state level and say, all right, job done?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
I do, because there was no Kamala wave that we've seen, no abortion wave.
Yeah. Well, that's the way it is so far. Of course, there's a lot to discuss about what the Trump presidency will mean and so on, and we're still waiting for him to take the stage. So, Steve, we'll speak to you later on throughout the show. Back to you
Sounds
guys.
great.
Hope you both warm up there because
Yeah.
it's going to be a very long night. We'll see you very soon.